Hey there, it's Eric Evenstad with BootstrapBizGrowth.com, and in this video, I'm going to tell you how to become a thought leader in your niche or in your industry. And so the key here is, how do you get people online to start to think of you as an expert? How do you start to build that awareness around your website or your blog? How do you become that go-to person, that go-to resource for people when they're trying to learn more about whatever you are an expert at? So I'm sure you are an expert at something, and hopefully that has to do with whatever your business is or your blog is. And so now the key is to let the world know that you are that expert. So to do that, you need to get the word out. You need to start to let people know who you are, what you do, and why you are that expert, why they should trust you, why they should trust your opinion and what you have to say. And so there's a few things that you can specifically do to start to make yourself look like that expert online and start to drive that traffic to your website, which is going to increase sales, website visitors, and much more. It's going to have a lot of benefits for you in the long run if you can start to build that following and people start to trust you as that thought leader. So I want to cover 4 specific tactics that you can do, and I'm actually going to pull up my screen and walk you through each of these. So the first thing that you can do to become a thought leader and be seen as an expert in your industry or your niche is to start to create world-class content around your area of expertise. So you want to create blog posts or video blogs or podcasts around topics that your target market is interested in and that you're an expert at. So that is one of the easiest and best ways, is to start just producing lots and lots of this content. And I'll show you an example here. For me, I really like video. I like to be able to show my screen and do tutorial videos and how-to videos and show people step by step as I do certain things on my computer screen. Or if I'm not doing that, I like to just look into the camera and be able to put a face to what I'm saying so that people can start to see who I am. And I feel like it starts to build that loyalty and that trust, so they can see the person behind the voice. So that's why I like video. But you can also just create written blog posts. If you're more of a writer than a video person, you can create written blog posts, or you can do podcasts. If you're just more of an audio person and you don't want that video aspect, podcasts work great. So I'll just show you an example here. Here's my YouTube channel. So I just come in here and I create tons and tons of videos that add value. These are videos about topics that my target market is really interested in. So my target market is online entrepreneurs and really small entrepreneurs. So 1 to probably 3 or 4 employees. That's my sweet spot. That's who I can help, people who want to build their business on a budget. So all my content is around there. Another thing that I'm a big expert on is outsourcing and hiring virtual assistants so that people can start to grow their business and free up time to grow faster, to enjoy life to its fullest. And so I do a lot of videos about outsourcing and how to hire superstar virtual assistants. And so throughout all my content, you're going to see a lot of videos around that outsourcing, because I want to become known as a thought leader and an expert on outsourcing. Then with those videos, I pull them into my blog as well, on my website, and I write a little post and I embed the videos onto my blog. So I'm just kind of repurposing these blog posts and giving people another way to find my content. And that's the key. You want to spread your content that you're creating out everywhere. You want to spread it via social media. You want to put it on your website. You want it to be seen. You want to drive traffic back to your social media pages and your website. That's going to be the easiest way for people to start following you and to help you become that expert. So that's that's the first thing that I really recommend to do, is to just start producing really great content. And a question that comes up a lot is, well, what should I talk about? What are people interested in? And the good news is I actually just did a post a few days ago, and I'm going to link to this in the description. But I show you how to come up with really great content ideas that your target market is already searching for and interested in. And so that's going to be the best way to draw people into your blog, into your YouTube channel, into your podcast, is to start to talk about topics that are relevant to your target market, and then sprinkle in your expertise. And you're going to start to build this relationship with your followers, and they're going to start to view you as that go-to person in your industry or your niche. The second thing that you can do to start to become that thought leader and that expert online is to engage with people on social media, and specifically engage with people inside of Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups. So I'm going to show you an example here. if you go to Facebook, there are thousands and thousands of private Facebook groups that you can join, and they're on all different topics. So for me, I'm an expert at outsourcing. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, online marketers, and so I have joined all these different groups related to that. So one of my favorites is ClickFunnels. This group has over 170,000 members, and these are online entrepreneurs, digital entrepreneurs. So this is my target market. And so I can come into here and I can search outsourcing, or I can search virtual assistant. And then you see people asking questions. Would you rather outsource what you don't know or figure it out yourself? The challenge of outsourcing to VAs. I actually find outsourcing things to VAs very hard, since it's always quicker for me to do it. And I feel like the increased efficiency is limited, blah, 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 blah. So I can come in here and I can start to answer questions and add a ton of value in this group by answering questions and showing my expertise around outsourcing. I can help people become better outsourcers and show them how to hire virtual assistants. So the key here is to not worry about giving away too much. I just want to show a ton of value and show my expertise in here and give real tips that they can go out and take action on. And then hopefully they'll click on my Facebook profile, and when they get there, they're going to see a link to my business page. So right here's my business page. Hopefully they'll go to that and learn more. Or within that Facebook group, when I answer a question or I add that value, maybe I link at the end to more relevant and valuable content. So maybe I link to a specific YouTube video that I created, and I can get people into my world that way. So that's a really great way to start to add value and become that expert, is to start to help people within these Facebook groups, within those LinkedIn groups. And I'll just show you really quickly, if you're not a part of any Facebook groups, you can come up into here, into the search field, and search for whatever you are an expert at. So maybe you're an expert at knitting, right? Let's just see what there is in terms of knitting. So I did a quick search on knitting. I'm going to go over here to groups. And right off the bat, this knitting group right here has 72,000 members. This one has 55,000 members, 45,000, 81,000. There's all these groups, and you want to join just a couple of them and really start to get your face known. You want to engage with people. You want to like their posts. You want to comment on things. You want to really start to become active in these groups and get your face seen and become known as that expert. So I'll click join group. A lot of them will have a few questions that they want you to ask. They might review these answers that you have and determine if they're going to allow you into their group, because a lot of these are private. And when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you follow all their group rules. So if I go back into this ClickFunnels group, they should have group rules over here. Yeah, so right here under description on the right side, there's a see more button. And now you can read through here and you can start to see the types of rules that each group has, and they're always going to be different. The key thing is you don't want to just spam people. You don't want to just throw up your links to your blog or your video. You want to go in and actually add value to people. And so this one says no ads, no videos, no spamming, keep it positive. Follow these rules and you're going to be in a good place, and you're really going to start to become a valued member of these groups, and that's going to drive a lot of traffic to your website or your blog. The third tip that I have for you is to join Quora. And if you're not familiar with Quora, that is a question answer website. So people go on here, they ask questions to the community on Quora, and then people go in and answer those questions. And so you can join Quora for free, and you mark out your interests. So what are you an expert at? So for me, I would come into Quora and I would do a search on outsourcing, right? And I want to see what types of questions people are asking about outsourcing. So this person says something very general. What is outsourcing? I could go in and I could answer that. But for me, I want to probably answer more specific questions so that I can really dive into my expertise and start to help people. So, is outsourcing ethical? This is a common question that I see a lot, and a lot of my students ask me about. So I'm going to click on this and give my 2 cents on this. So the thing about outsourcing is that people think it's unethical because you are hiring somebody to do work overseas for $2 to $3 an hour. And that seems like slave labor, really. It's so cheap for us here to hire somebody that's an expert in somewhere like the Philippines or India that it doesn't seem ethical to be only paying them a couple dollars. Well, I can tell you that it is ethical because that $2 to $3 there goes a long, long ways, and it's more than enough to sustain their way of life. And so I would come in here and I would probably want to write out a really long post. Like this is a great one here. I'd want to write out a really long post like that explains to people and clarifies the myths around outsourcing being unethical. So I want to talk about why it is ethical, and then maybe I have a video that I've already created about why outsourcing is ethical, and I answer that question there, and maybe I link to that video that's on my blog or on my YouTube channel. And I really, again, want to come in here, and it's all about adding value and answering these questions to the best of your ability. And if you do that, people are going to see your profile, they're going to see your answers, and they're going to start to think of you as that expert. They're going to visit your website, your blog, and again, that's how you start to build that expertise and become that thought leader that everybody knows and trusts. So if you do these three things and stay consistent with them, you're really going to start to build up that following. And the key again is consistency and adding value. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to focus on every single day is how do I add more value to my target market? And in doing so, you're going to drive a ton of traffic and you're going to start to build your brand and your following. I hope this has been helpful. I hope it encourages you to start to go interact with people online, to go out there and add value, to help people wherever they're at and to become that trusted resource. If you do that, I think your business is going to see a big boost. You're going to get a lot more blog followers, a lot more social media followers, a lot more media opportunities and speaking opportunities. There's going to be tons of benefits of becoming that thought leader in your industry or niche. If this has been valuable, please scroll down, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share this with anybody else that might be looking to take a step into thought leadership and becoming an expert online. And as always, I want to thank you for watching our video, and we'll see you next time.